How are you today?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm pretty good, Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So what's your name and your age and where you're from?
My name is Jasmine. My birth name is actually Jasmine. My adopted name is Jody May. I was born in New York, but I was raised in Michigan. And I moved to Fort Worth 2 years ago.
Okay. Do you know why you're here today and what we will be kind of discussing?
I guess for my overdose on Sunday.
Okay.
Never really a full, thorough, conversation about it, but.
Okay, so I kind of want to unpack it here and just bring awareness to the situation. So we're just gonna jump into it. It might get deep real fast, but if you want to be completely honest and open, and I would greatly appreciate this because your story could be just like somebody else's story that needs to hear it. So what is your drug of choice? Your top drug?
Well, when I was 18, I used to be really bad on pills, Xanax, and I almost killed myself. So I stopped, and I was actually 11 years clean. And in 2020, I was introduced to cocaine.
Okay.
People could do drugs around me. I mean, I want to do it, and I want to judge somebody who would do it, but I just knew, what happened to me, almost overdosing on, Xanax. So I stopped doing drugs, but I fell into cocaine. And it's more so I guess the curiosity of it, trying it. I'd only do it when I would drink.
Yeah.
And then once I moved to Fort Worth, I found the plug, and I got comfortable doing it.
Okay.
So
you said around 18 was your first trying different drugs around
just
that
Xanax.
time? Just at that time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How does that drug, in specific, Xanax, made you feel in the past?
It numbed all my feelings.
Okay, what about cocaine?
It numbed my feelings.
So you just feel nothing, in a sense, when you get high?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
The night that you overdosed, did you know exactly what was going on in that moment? Can you remember anything before or while it was happening?
That day I spent $170 on cocaine.
Okay.
And everything was perfectly fine. But that last $10 that I gave to somebody, she was like, go to my people. I said, I don't know your people. I know my people. Let me go to my people. And I would see her over, where I'd be at or whatever. And I would see her go to that door. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'll try it. So I broke it down or whatever, and I drove to his apartment complex, and I hit it. And within 3 seconds, I felt my body go numb. And I didn't feel the same. So I texted somebody, and I was like, say, look, I don't trust this girl, I think she ought to get me, whatever. I remember backing up to, where I was at earlier that day, and how I backed in, and then after that, I don't remember nothing.
Okay. I kind of want to bring and shed light over how easily you can be misled by this drug, because it's in everything. It's not just in certain drugs, or
it's in everything.
And it can be laced just that quick. It's sold just that quick, because it is cheaper for the drug dealers to buy and disperse out, in a sense.
So definitely.
I kind of wanted to talk to everybody that does whatever their choice of drug is, just to say that you never know. Just for her instance, she went to somebody else's people, trusted somebody just to get something real quick, and it ended up almost taking her life and others' lives around her. So that is the main key point for us tonight, because you can't really tell what it looks like. It don't have a smell to it. You just can take whatever you normally take, you guys, and it could just be that fatal. They are blessed to be sitting here in this presence today. They have a lot of people praying for them, and the whole situation that had took place just happened so fast. I feel like
real fast.
A lot of times people take their life for granted, and we as other people that's around them, family, loved ones, take it for granted as well, because we just seen the other survivor the day before, and then the next day we get a call that it's fentanyl overdose. So my next question is, How many people were y'all around when this happened?
There was a lot. There was a lot of people. They was outside, you know, early that day. I mean, because everybody know me, you know. Like, I'd be over there with my regular clothes or whatever. But there was a lot of people out that night. It's just like, there were people that wanted to shoot at my car. Because, like, they didn't recognize my car. But they were, you know, drunk themselves high, whatever. But it's just like how I backed in, and then my door was wide open. Like, they said, you know, as Jazz, like, Jazz don't never park like that. Like, and something's wrong. Somebody on the first floor, she ran outside, and she saw, like, I was purple in the face. You know, I was, like, I can't tell you, like, but they said I was slumped over, like, unresponsive. And she yelling for help. She calling 911, and then little 18-year-old kids. They was only 18.
That saved your life. That did CPR on you.
For 10 minutes until the ambulance came. And my chest, like, it still hurts. Within like that 24 hours, like, I can barely, like, I can't even eat. I can barely sleep. And they said, like, it's gonna take like a couple of days for, like, to actually get out my system. But, like, only 18-year-old little kids, and I just met these kids. And they were quicker to run down them stairs so fast to save my life than anybody that I be around every day. You know what I mean? Like, but one of my homegirls, she stayed upstairs. And whenever the ambulance came or whatever, they said, I think they had like 6 cop cars, 4 ambulance, and like 2 fire trucks. And they was doing compressions. They doing Narcan in me. And like I wasn't coming back. Like they had to revive me 3 times.
How would you think right now in this time of day, I know that it's hard to think about this, but how would you picture your family, your kids, grieving your loss right now from the drug choice that you used? Not knowing that y'all were going to get laced with fentanyl, but just y'all daily choice of drugs. How would you picture everyone right now?
I don't know, like, it's kind of hard to like answer that question, you know, because I get my kids, my daughter's only 11, my son's only 3. Like,
so
I don't want my kids, you know, I made a post earlier on Facebook, and I was like, you know, I don't want my kids knowing me and his mama that overdosed. I want her to know that she overcame this addiction. Like, I did have an issue, but like whenever I be off from work and be out of school, like, that's when my issue happens. But like, I don't go to work high, I don't, you know, go to, you know, school high, I don't do any of that. Like, whenever I be off, and I've been off for 2 weeks, I relapsed again. So, I mean, I don't want my kids knowing, you know, knowing that. I try so hard to, like, get that away from my kids. Because I don't want my kids knowing, you know, what I did, thinking it's okay, and then, you know, having them experience it. Like, but I can't save my kids from the world because my kids are going to find it regardless. So, like, it may sound effed up, but like, I'd rather my kids see me doing it and know what the effect that it does to you than to have them be in a place and they don't know what happens. But my kids never saw me high. They never did. Like, and the sad thing, I would do it, but I would do it away from my kids. But I still got my house, I still got my car, I still got, you know, my job, I still got everything going in life, like money, all that. Like, I just don't have my kids. Even when I did have all that, I still have my kids. But like that one CPS phone call, like, it changed everything. But I still never lost. Like, you like they say, like I say, like, you can do the drug, don't let that drug do you. You know. And like my friend cried to me last week. She said, Jazz, like, don't let that drug take over you. Baby, that drug will never take over me. It never will. Like, it's going to take over me for the time being. But, like, I promise you I'll never lose my house, my place, none of that. And I've been doing it for 2 years straight. You know what I mean? Like, I can't never lose nothing over a drug. And, like, that's what people don't understand. Like, they allow that drug to take over them. Don't allow that drug to take over you. Like, if you can't, you know, afford, if you can't keep your priorities set straight, then it's game over. But they out here, like, and I don't judge somebody, but like, it be the fact of, like, y'all got people out here, like, doing drugs, and they really letting that drug take over them. They allowing that demon, that devil, to take over you. I can't allow that for myself.
Was it a wake-up call, a real wake-up call for you? But I don't remember what.
I'll never do a drug again. I'll never smoke no weed. I won't do nothing. And like I said earlier, like people, they still got a whole nerve. Jazz, I got some deals going on. Bro, you did not just see me lay out in the parking lot. Like, I saw my life flash before my eyes. I saw my life flash right before my eyes. And I remember them, I remember after they woke me up, I know, it was like at 12:15 in my phone, I think, a.m. when I texted, this girl wants to say, I call her T. I said, I don't trust this girl. Like, I feel, like my body was like
numb, like you couldn't, like was everything moving slow around you? It
was, like, but I just don't understand how I still made it from this apartment complex to where I was going. Yeah. But I mean, it was only 30 seconds away, like how I backed in and then I just blacked out. And but I remember like after they, I want to say maybe it was like because at 1:07 a.m. I ended up going to the hospital at Texas Harris, and they were rude. They were so rude to me.
Do you remember
Sabrina, the nurse? I remember Sabrina. They treat me like a whole dope fiend. Like, and then one nurse go like this, well, I didn't come in for an overdose.
She told you that?
And then the other one talking about, I'm not dealing with this shit tonight. Like, what you not doing? Like, I'm in school for nurse right now. Like, I know, like I'm already a CNA. Like, but like, you not knowing the people you dealing with, being a patient, because you a nurse, you think you higher above everybody else. But I bet you she don't know how to, whole live, don't know how to change somebody. I bet you don't know the patient like the CNA knows the patient. You just pass out meds all day. That's it. You don't know the patient actually for the patient. You don't know their wounds they got. You don't know their mental illness they got going on. You don't know nothing about their life, like their life story. None of that. You know nothing. You just pass a narc when it says, hey, it's dinner o'clock. They need to know like the little naproxen or the hydrocodone. That's what you know about them. You don't know nothing else. But like the way that they talk to me at that Texas Harris right there in Rosedale, and then they have me walk from Rosedale off to the west side. I remember Sabrina. I remember her. Full to the T. I remember her.
So when you got to the hospital, did they check like your EKGs? Did you go through any of that?
I remember whenever they brought me back to life in that parking lot. I remember seeing all the EMTs, paramedics, everybody in front of me. I'm like, yo, move, like y'all are, but everything is, my ears are muffled. Like, I don't know if you ever had anesthesia, like if you ever got knocked out, ever had a surgery, but like after you waking up after anesthesia,
it's kind of like,
everything's a blur.
Yeah, like,
that's how it was, and they all in my face, and I'm like, move, like, why'd you all in my face? And he said, do you take narcotics? I said, yeah, like, I took cocaine. He said, nah, you overdosed on fentanyl. And I said, room so-and-so. I said, that's them. I said, she tried to kill me. And the cops, who tried to kill you? She did. And I still feel like that till this day. Because if she would have let me go through my people, I would never deal with this. But I went through your people. And then on top of it, your people burnt off. They left everything. They left the room, they left the drugs, they left the money, they left everything. Great. But I remember they had some tube in my mouth. It was like maybe like, it looked like a little platypus, like the little tail. They had that in my mouth. They had some oxygen in my tubes, and I'm sitting up and I'm crying for my kids. That's all I wanted was my kids. And then some lady used to overdose on fentanyl, and I said no, it was her, it was them. Like, it came from that room. They said which room? I said that room right there. And I said the room number. I'm gonna say on YouTube, but I said the room number, whatever. And they got me on a stretcher board. They said, we finna take you in. I remember them putting me in the ambulance. And they started to hook me up. Like, I still got like the little IV in my hand right now, in my arm. I remember going in the back of the ambulance, paramedic truck. They wasn't going fast enough. I remember dozing off again. They said, Jasmine, stay awake, Jasmine. And I said, y'all moving too slow. Like, I need to go to this hospital. Like I'm dying. Like, they moving way too slow. Like it felt slow to me, but it was fast to them. I said turn them lights on, like let everybody move out the way. So I turned the lights on, whatever, and we got there fast. I mean, to me it felt slow, but we got there fast. I remember we going in the back of the building or whatever, the hospital, whatever, and they brought me in. And these two nurses, Sabrina right here and the other one right here, she got long brown hair and some glasses and the mask on. And the way they talking to me, I'm like, y'all can't talk, like, don't talk to me like that.
Like they're just handling you wrong.
This one right here, I'm not the one who overdosed. This one right here, Sabrina talk about, well, I'm not doing this shit tonight. You're not doing what tonight?
This is your job. Yeah.
They didn't care. I bet you they kept me in the hall for 3.5 hours. And didn't take me to a room.
Put you up by yourself.
I was there for 3.5 hours, and I told my city, no, I want to go home. Like, let me just go home. I tried to use the phone. They let me use the phone a couple of times, whatever. After that, they wouldn't let me use the phone no more. I asked all the nurses walking by, go get Sabrina. Like, oh, I'm going to go get her. They never went to go get her. And you got the people in the lobby. You got this one girl, blonde hair, big ears. You got another girl. Then you got a dude. He's like a ginger, whatever. And I said, I want to go home. And the blonde girl come up, and she's like, careful, I'm going to take you home at 5:30. I think it's like maybe like 4:19, 4:20 in the morning. I said, no, I'm going to go home now. She walked back to her laughing. After I told Sabrina, I said, I'm leaving. Like, I'm trying to take my IV out or whatever. She gave me, she did something or whatever. She put some fluid in me or whatever. And I'm stumbling. Like, you know, like when you're drunk and walking. And I'm stumbling in the lobby. They let me walk outside. I said, how do I get back to the west side? The one police officer, I called the police. They didn't do nothing. They didn't take me home. They let me stumble outside. And I walked over from Rosedale to the west side. I left at 4:30 that morning. I didn't get to the west side until 7:45 that morning. They didn't care about nothing.
I'm sorry that happened to you. That's definitely not okay. And you definitely needed to be treated like a regular patient, no matter what the case have been, whatever you was in there for. They should have still treated you accordingly. That was very unprofessional.
I called the patient advocate on them.
I hope you did, because
I did.
That's definitely.
And I went up there the next morning, like I said, I mean, it took me 24 hours to go to sleep. I mean, I still got my eyes still dry, crying, and I still. That day, it messed everybody up. Like, they still see me laid out. It messed with them bad.
How have you been coping with the news that basically you died and came back to life? Like, how is that like, with the days have been passing on and on, how have you been, like, handling it in your mind?
I'm still traumatized.
And that's okay. But now it's time for the change to be put into play. Like, to actually go into seeking help, whether it's therapy.
Therapy makes me mad.
Well, it depends on your therapist. Because I have went to therapy. I've been traumatized. I had bad things happen to me at a very young age that was not supposed to be happening to any little girl. And with a dad that's a drug addict, that's in and out of my life, that has done things that I just don't approve of in front of me, around me, taking me places where I'm not supposed to be, I have to put myself back into therapy. I stopped going because it did make me mad. It made me upset. It made me uncomfortable. I felt judged. I felt like I wasn't welcome. It was bad. It was bad, but this new therapist, she validates my feelings. She helps me get to where I need to navigate through my life, on how I need to handle certain situations. And I feel like you might, if you just find the right one, then somebody will be there for you to, like, actually express and cope with traumatizing things in your life. Because she sends me plenty of PowerPoints and different ways to cope with my anxiety and my depression and stuff like that. And I can tell you out of my mouth, I was one of them people that was like, fuck therapy. Especially because I couldn't find no black therapist. That I feel like all the white therapists would never relate to anything that I have been through. Yeah, and when I went to my therapist, she was very unprofessional. She had her feet kicked up. She was eating. She was drinking. And I just feel like it wasn't right for her to act like that with me as somebody that just went through something so traumatizing. So,
like me dealing with like a drug counselor, like she told my caseworker everything. And that's what's between us. My caseworker today, I didn't even go see my son. She's like, Jasmine, well, Jody, I got a text. What happened on January 8th? If you got a text and you don't know what happened on January, don't like move. And I left. Like, don't ask me no stupid question like that.
Yeah,
and like
you're
supposed to be my therapist. Like everything's supposed to be, set and sealed. Like they giving out all my information.
That's exactly what I was afraid of too. Going to therapy was
I'll buy another bottle.
CPS being in my life or anything like that.
It's hard, like, but they don't understand. Like, even though I did have an issue, like my kids weren't affected. My kids in school, both my kids in school, like my kids had a place, food, everything. Like my addiction did not affect nobody, not even my kids. Like I still made sure my kids was okay, but they still took my kids.
Just off that one phone call, and that's what I was afraid of, being took away from my parents at such a young age. Because
I was already taken from my parents.
I was scared that if I told the truth about how my dad was or how he acted or what I seen, that they were gonna immediately call CPS on me.
They took me from my parents. I mean, I dealt with all that. Being a foster baby, being adopted, being molested.
All of it. So, at what age were you put into foster care?
I was taken when I was 3. My mama, she was a crack whore. They remember her all around Michigan, Church Street, Kalamazoo.
And what about your father? Do you know?
She didn't know who he was. She told me that this man was my dad, but he was never my dad. I went all the way to Virginia, did a whole DNA test. Wasn't my daddy. I did ancestry and I found his dad. He was Navy. He was Navy.
So, do you feel like with how you was brought up within the foster care and moving around at such a young age affected you in the long run as being kind of using those opioids and drugs to suppress that pain?
Yeah.
So that was the only thing that kind of took it away?
And alcohol.
So, I have 2 more questions. What is some advice that you would like to tell anybody that has been using, have used, and that's still using?
Just stop. Like, it's not worth your life. $10 ain't worth your life. $5 ain't worth your life. Because who's gonna pay for that funeral? $10,000 is more than $5. More than a bump of coke. A storm of perk. A hit of a blunt. Your life is worth more than that. Like, that did scare me. I don't know if best friend, I don't know if he's still good. I know I'm not gonna use no more. That was my out. That's my eye opener right there. You got some heat on this couch or what?
I told you it's gonna be in a hot seat.
Because my ass is on fire. But like, it ain't.
It's not worth it.
It's not. Like, don't let that drug, this damn seat is hot for real. No, but like, if you have an addiction, like, mellow it down some.
Yeah, because it's hard to just completely stop.
I mean, I can stop, but why is that funny, best friend? Like, I can stop, like, 'cause I'm just not in school, I ain't been working. So like, whenever I be focused, like, whenever I had, like, something going on, I'm okay. But like, when But then whenever I'm not at work and I'm not at school, like, I be depressed. Like, I don't have no friends. Like,
it comes back.
I left Michigan for my baby daddy, for my daughter to have her dad, because I never had my father. And I wanted my daughter to be okay and be happy. And I left a whole 10 states to come to Texas with nobody out here, like just me, myself, and I, to make my daughter happy. I get mixed up with the wrong crowd or whatever. Like, all my doings, like, y'all, you can't peer pressure nobody. You know, that's gotta be you. You can't, you know, hey, Jazz, hit the blunt, hit the blunt. No, fool. Like, I want to hit the blunt. I want to hit the blunt. You know what I mean? I'm at that line if I want to hit the line. You can't peer pressure me to do nothing. Like I said, y'all can do drugs in front of me. I really wouldn't even care. It's up to me to do it, okay? A choice, like, a mistake is not no choice. A choice is if you do it, okay? A mistake is just like if I actually, you know, fall over my feet. You know, a choice is me doing, okay, I'm going to hit that line. I know what I'm doing. Even drunk, I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Even sober, I know what I'm doing. So y'all can't follow me like, y'all can't say, oh, when I say Jazz, it's a mistake. No, it wasn't a mistake. I made that choice. It's not a mistake. So quit telling me it's a mistake. You know, like, okay, it was a choice. I went through her people, but it was a mistake that I died. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? Yeah. Like, I chose to go through her people, but then my mistake was I died. Like, so I know what I'm doing. Like I'm saying, like, if I'm driving, I'm running, I'm going through the stop sign or whatever, and the car hit me, that's a mistake. That's not me, because I stopped. Like, I'm going through you. I mean, I know what I'm doing. Sober or not, drunk or not, high or not. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know who I'm talking to, who I'm giving my number out to, things like that. I know everything. Because you still here in your mind, drinking or not, you know exactly what you're doing. I know what I'm be dropping ones in the strippers, cash up. I know it. A mistake is like, you can't stop a mistake, but you can stop a choice. And that whole night should have been prevented if I would have never moved through her people. But I trusted her, because I would see her go through that always. But
do you think that the girl that referred you to her plug or whatever,
I feel like this happened to her before, because earlier that day, maybe an hour before that, maybe an hour before all that, she said she was going to rehab. Why'd you going to rehab? You gotta stop for you. You don't need rehab to tell you nothing. Rehab gonna make you want to go do that some more. They throwing all the little 12 steps on you. They gonna make you want to do that for more, like some more. That day she said, I'm going to rehab, but I don't want to stop. That's what she said. And she gave me a whole Bible. You gave me a whole Bible. A Bible a year ago. You gave me a Bible. And then you brought me to them people. And then when I told her, I said, I don't feel good. And she rubbed my shoulders. Jazz, you okay? You feel nauseous? Nah, bro, you know how I feel right now. You know exactly how I feel right now. I feel like, I personally feel like that's happened to her before. I personally feel like that's happened to her before. Because when she said she don't want to stop, but she want to go to rehab, but she don't want to stop, I feel like she overdosed before. And I feel like she overdosed with 9 people before. Because I bet you she was nowhere to be found when I was slumped out of my car. Nowhere to be found. Go tell my best friend, hey, some girl outside laid out. She wasn't in my car no more. But she watched me hit that line. And she watched me feel all tingly, numb, all that, like.
And left.
And left. Go tell my best friend, somebody laid outside right now. Somebody laid out right now. You knew it. So I feel like she's done this before. I feel like she know how her people is, like.
Or what they selling.
Exactly.
To just get.
That's how I feel. I always feel like that. Like, and I don't want that girl around me ever a day in her life. She better move around. Like, don't come around me at all. Like, because I know what you be on. And that day, Jazz, you okay? You feel nauseous? Nah, I don't feel right. I don't feel me. Because you know what you know what you just did. Regardless, she ended up in the hospital too, but she been there before. She been there before. And I'll never in my life ever She better, best friend, she better stay from around me, for real. I whooped that old lady. I whoop her.
So that was all the questions that I have. Do you have any other thing that you want to talk about specifically?
Don't, if y'all do a drug, like, don't let that drug overcome you. Don't let that drug power you. You got more power over that drug than drug got power over you. Don't let drug take over you. Don't allow that demon to take over you. If you know you have an addiction, like, go seek help. I mean, I know I had an addiction, but I let it low. I told you what I do when I be at work, be at school. But when I be at work, at school, I'm not doing it. Don't let the drug take over you. That's all I ask. Please don't let the drug take over you.
Hello, guys. So here is my cousin. Introduce yourself.
My name is Jeremy Brown, aka JJ. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. How old are you, Jeremy?
I'm 29. I'm out of Fort Worth, Texas.
All right. And do you know what we're here today for? And what we're gonna be discussing?
We're here to talk about drugs and how it affects people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you know what fentanyl is?
I had started hearing about it lately, like over the past few months. I started hearing about fentanyl. It was on the news and everything, but I've never ran across it.
Until you did.
Until that night. You know what I'm saying? That was the first time I ever ran across it or actually witnessed fentanyl and what it could do.
Okay. So what is your drug of choice?
Marijuana. I smoke marijuana and you know, I have I do other things sometimes.
What are the other drugs of choice that you do sometimes?
You know, I do uppers sometimes.
Upper like cocaine?
Uppers like
narcotics?
Something, yeah.
You do narcotics, okay.
Yeah.
And how often do you use narcotics? Narcotics is cocaine.
What? Well, nah, I don't do narcotics. I don't do narcotics. I don't do narcotics. No, I didn't know what narcotics was. Narcotics, you know what I'm saying? Things, it's different drugs and you know, certain drugs that's based with those type of things. So you never know what you're doing. You know?
So do you snort?
You never know
powder?
You never know.
Have you ever done powder before? Be completely honest.
I've done it before.
Okay, have you ever done heroin?
I've done it before. I've never done heroin. I've never done heroin.
Have you ever done pills? Opioids?
I've done pills. I've popped pills before.
Okay, so how does all of those different drugs that you have took before make you feel when you take them?
It makes me feel, depending on what it is, it makes me feel up. It makes me feel, you know, numb. It makes me feel numb to everything. My feelings, you know, any hurt or pain I might feel, anything emotional, anything really physical, all that go away.
Is it an instant feeling as soon as you take it?
It's instant, yeah.
With all of the drugs?
Yeah.
So do you feel happy when you take it?
I feel better than I did before I took it.
What about coming down off of those drugs?
It's horrible. It's horrible. It's a horrible feeling.
What is your coming down intake like? Do you shake? Do you get nauseous?
Nah, I never just had it. I mean, it ain't never just been strong like to where it hurt me physically, but I would be, you know, I would feel everything that went away when I did the drug, it'll come back when I'm coming down.
So is it like more a mental thing, or is it physical within your body that you just can't explain?
It's both.
Both of them?
Both. It's mental and physical. When you do that type of drug, it makes you, like, your emotions go away. Like, you're not worried about who just hurt you. You're not worried about what just happened. You're not worried about what's really going on. You're not worried about it. You just in your mode. It's a feeling that I really can't explain unless you feel it, you know. That's why people, you know, I feel like that's why people go to drugs, because
it's that numbing.
Because the things that's on their mind, the things that's hard for them to get through, that's really getting to them. You know what I'm saying? Once they do their drug, it's like all they go away for a minute.
Do you feel like in that moment, is it more of just a self-conscious thing where you just do drugs for yourself and you don't think about the consequences or how it makes others, like family, mom, sisters, cousins, feel? It's not more so like you don't think about none of that. It's just you gonna do it real quick and just get your mind right?
No. I mean, I'm sure you got good motives when you do it, because when you, like, for me, when I did drugs, like, my motive was it made me feel good in every aspect that was going on. Like, if I was doing drugs and I was out there hustling, trying to make some money, I felt like I was the best hustler, and it was going down. So I wasn't really thinking nothing bad. Every time I did drugs, I thought the outcome was gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? No matter what I was doing, but it always ended up bad at the end, cause the decisions you make, even on drugs, is not the best decision. You don't make the best decisions on drugs, and you mess off, and you know what I'm saying, the outcome never changes.
It's always the same.
It's always the same.
So, at that age that you started to use drugs, what was your main reasoning for it?
It was all a joke. You know what I'm saying? I was with somebody I had grew up with. I was with one of my close friends, and like, I really looked up to him. I knew him. He always, you know what I'm saying, motivated me to do better, even growing up from a young age. And we met up on the west side of town. And I was with him one night. We was with some girls, and I was hustling, and you know, and it started off as a joke. You know what I'm saying? I was telling him, man, let's do this, but you know what I'm saying, really I was just joking with him. And when he was like, bet, you know what I'm saying, at the time I didn't know he did this type of certain drug. And you know,
Was it cocaine?
It was cocaine. I had some hard, you know what I'm saying, I was hustling, but I pulled it out like, man, that's just mine or something. But I was messing with him. You know what I'm saying? I was joking with him. But he pulled out something for real. And it kind of tripped me out, and it was some girls in the room, and you know what I'm saying.
Did you feel pressured at the time to actually do it because he was doing it? Or did you actually want to try it yourself just to see what it was for?
Growing up, I used to swear to God I would never do anything other than, you know what I'm saying?
Smoke a little weed.
Yeah, I used
drink
to.
A little
that's
drink.
The way I was raised. I used to, you know, but I don't know. Just that night, it was just, you know,
different.
Some obviously it was different because I ended up doing it. And after that, man, my whole life was.
It changed from that day?
It changed.
Did you feel addicted as soon as you took it? Like, did you want it the next day? Did you want it later on after you came down from that high? Do you remember?
I don't remember, but I know I remember, and I know I was ready. Yeah, I was.
You was ready to get some more?
Not just immediately, but I knew it was
something that you was gonna be doing.
Tight, yeah. I knew that.
Okay. So,
I know that.
How does the drug really, like, in the best way that you can describe, make your body feel besides numb? Like when you intake it and you're doing it,
man,
how do you like see the world? How do you move? Are you active? Are you not?
Man, you really active. Yeah, I mean, like I say, any kind of pain you feeling, any kind of like emotions you feeling, whether it's hurt, if you worried about a female, if you worried about getting some money, if you worried about, you know what I'm saying, it's a type of drug that make you feel like, man, everything good is gonna happen and you finna make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna happen and you finna make it happen. It gives you that feeling.
Like you got all the power to do whatever you need to do.
To do whatever you need to do. To do whatever you need to do. It makes you, that's the feeling.
Okay, so now that we got the backstory of what we need to know of the drug choice, we're finna get into the night that you overdosed. Play out how the night went from the beginning, from you leaving this house the night before to you getting over there on that side of town. Play out exactly how that night went when you overdosed, as best as possible, and you could be as honest as possible, and we want the real raw truth. You could talk about where you was. You don't have to say no names about the places or who was there. Just tell me your surroundings and what was the environment like.
I was over there on the west side of Fort Worth, over there by Las Vegas Trail, and it was a normal night. I was with my baby mama. I called my friend to come pick me up, and you know what I'm saying, we was chilling, and you know, everything was normal. Everybody was out. Actually, it was a fight that happened that night. I want to show y'all this. But yeah, it was a normal night. It was a normal night. We was all out there chilling, thugging, you know what I'm saying? Watching fights. It was a normal night. But anyway, man, I had left my friend Jasmine, and I had started strolling by myself. Them my stomping ground, so I can hop out by myself and do whatever. And you know, I had went, actually, it was somebody that somebody that gave me the drug was one of my partners. Somebody I called my partner. You know what I'm saying? Somebody I go to broke and just whatever. I could chop it up with him all day long. And you know what I'm saying? Somebody that that I consider solid. You know what I'm saying? But it was signs, man. But I wasn't looking at them. I was just
worried about getting high?
After the drug. It was signs telling me, hold on, there's something ain't right. But I wasn't paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't paying attention. You know? And actually, the girl that was with her, my friend, came in that room and was like, man, somebody out here laid out. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
And you still hadn't took the drug at that point? I still
hadn't took the drug at that point. Somebody out here laid out.
So did you go look who
it
was?
I didn't look. Nope. I didn't look, not even knowing that was my friend out there laid out. I didn't look. I didn't look till the ambulance was pulling up. And by that time, I had did the drug. And at that time, I had looked out the window. I seen the lights of the ambulance pulling up. And the next thing I remember, I was on the ground and the ambulance, everybody was around me. You know what I'm saying? I got up. They were like, hold on, lay back down. They were like, man, we just put 4 narcos in you. You just need to chill. I didn't know what narcos was. I know I felt like I was alright. So I'm like, let me up, cause ain't no telling them. I had some drugs on me. You know what I'm saying? So I see these ambulance lights. I say, nah, let me get up and get away from them. You know what I'm saying? So I get to moving around. And then they following me. They like trying to chase me down. These not police officers. These are ambulance.
And do you want to know why they was chasing you?
They were chasing me down.
Do you want to know why though? It's a liability for them to let you go, and that they know that you were overdosing. And they know that the severity of the situation, that's why they were chasing you. They know that they had to pump 4 Narcans in your nose for you to come back breathing. And do you know the average amount that they usually pump into anybody's nose?
I don't.
1.
I don't know about that.
And you have to take more once you pass back out. They pump more of that in you. So you can continue your story about what else happened after they started chasing you.
I was like, man, I was trying to run in somebody's room. Somebody I knew. I was trying to run in another room, get away from them, but I mean, again, it had to be God, because she wasn't trying to hear it. And I wasn't like, what's wrong with you? And this is my homegirl. Like, I done thug with her plenty nights, and she wasn't trying to let me in her room to chill. They like, no, you need to go. She was like, no, you need to go. She telling me, no, you need to go that night. Emily, I'm like, nah, man, shut the door. They tripping. Let me just chill. Get up. And she like, no. And then so I'm like, man, so I didn't know what to do. I'm trying to get away from these people. I called my baby mama. I say, man, come get me, man. The ambulance talking about they chasing me down, trying to get me. She tripping. She done snatched my homegirl. I was trying to run in her room. She snatched the phone and told my baby mama, man, he's dying. He's dying. You need to come get him. She screaming, hollering. I snatched the phone back like, man, no. I ain't dying. She tripping. She shut up. I'm telling her to shut up because she screaming, yelling. I'm like, bro, shut up. Just come get me. You know what I'm saying? So like everything I feel like happened for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, she pull up quick. And you know what I'm saying? They trying to get me in the ambulance. At first I was like, alright, come on, fuck it. And I was like, nah, I'm not feeling though, because I feel like I'm alright. At the time, I'm feeling like I'm good.
And that's only because they shot that Narcan up your nose.
Right.
So that's why you was feeling like that.
I tell them, man, let me out, man. Let me out. Let me smoke a cigarette or something. I'm trying to tell them anything, just let me go. She screaming, crying, no, just go, just go, just go. I remember getting out the car, the ambulance was telling me, man, say, you need to go. You need to go. You're not okay. You need to go. I remember them, and they kept saying it, they kept saying it. And that's really almost the last thing I remember other than me being in my baby mother car. And I'm talking bad to her. I'm telling her, man, let me out, let me out. I got her door open with my feet out, dragging my foot. Like, let me out, man. You tripping. I'm not going to the hospital. I was for real about that. I'm not going to no hospital, man. So, but she wouldn't listen. Next thing I remember, I was in front of the hospital. I go off on her again, man. What you got me up here for, man? What is you doing? What's up? Why am I here? And next thing I remember, I was in the hospital bed, waking up.
Did you have any best friend?
Waking up. You know, I was waking up, man. I remember seeing my little sister. I remember seeing her. I remember seeing her crying. She walking out the room. I was like, what was going on? I remember seeing my daddy. I remember seeing, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy. But you know, I really didn't know. I really didn't know what was going on. I wish I would have looked at the signs, but everything happened so fast. And it's only so much that I remember. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know I was dying, even though everybody was telling me, you dying.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't believe it. I didn't feel like it. You know what I'm saying? But I was dying. I was dying.
Do you remember what your body felt like once you hit the line?
No, man.
Did you feel normal when you hit it?
I mean, no, man. I remember throwing up. I was throwing up.
When you hit it?
I seen the ambulance. I looked out the window, seen the ambulance. The room I was in, it was this lady in there. She was like, oh, no, man, we gotta get up out of here. We gotta get up out of here. I was throwing up. She's like, oh, man, she tripping. She high. She like, oh, man, you need to get that up. And I'm like, man, I'm finna go. Hold on. I'm trying to get myself together. I'm throwing up. Next thing I know, man, I was on the floor.
How many people were around you when you were overdosing? How many people roughly were in that hotel room that you was in?
There was a lot. Was it not?
At first, it was like 4 other people. When the lady came in saying somebody was outside laid out.
Talk about me.
They was talking about you, but I didn't know it at the time. My partner, he left. He burnt off. 2 of them burnt off. So it was just other 2 people. One of them was on the bed sleeping. It was one other person walking around.
So was it a total of 3 of y'all that took that drug that overdosed y'all?
I mean, I don't know. I was like I said, I was by myself. I was in the room by myself. Whatever drug I took it by myself. I wasn't around her at the time. I was in the room. But I didn't know they came and got something and they was going through something from what they had got. I didn't know that at the time.
You said that you got it from somebody that you knew?
Yeah, my partner. My homeboy.
Did he not hit the line with you?
This is my best friend.
Ain't nobody did nothing with me.
So you didn't see nobody else do the drug around you but you? You
But
hit
me.
your own?
I did my own drugs.
Okay.
I did my own drugs.
And the only reason that I'm asking you that is because I just wanted to know if everybody around you knew what had been given to you. Specifically just to you, to Jazz, to whoever that night.
Yeah, but when they figured out something wasn't right, they burnt out.
Yeah.
And still, even after that, I did my drug after all that happened. So I didn't realize, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. Hey,
like those signs.
I didn't.
They leaving, somebody passed out.
Yeah, I didn't look at none of that. Those was my signs. Those was my signs right there. You need to go see what's going on and see. For real, I didn't listen to none of that.
Would you have thought ever with doing these drugs that you choose to do that you would have ever overdosed?
Never. 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 Ever, ever, ever. You know what I'm saying? I would have just been doing it forever. You know what I'm saying? I didn't never even experience someone else
Overdosing.
And I never experienced that. I've always seen it on TV or heard about it, but I've never experienced this in real life. I always thought somebody overdosing was somebody that's shooting something up their arm.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm thinking somebody gonna overdose on. Somebody, oh, you shooting up, you finna overdose. That's what I always thought. Heroin. And I didn't never realize what I was doing was something that can
Make you overdose.
I never.
Do you see how easily that drug can be manipulated nowadays into where you thinking that you're
happening.
just doing what you do on a day-to-day basis?
It's happening right now. It's people out there lost in the South right now as we speak. You know what I'm saying? Feeling good right now. You know what I'm saying? Feeling like ain't no worry in the world right now because they turned up feeling good, got a few dollars in their pocket, and they feel like ain't nothing gonna go wrong ever right now. And you know what I'm saying? And I just, you know what I'm saying? But you know, certain people, it takes them to go, it takes them for them to go through it, to actually see it. And I always been that type of person. You can't just tell me something. I have to see it for myself.
Cause a hard head make a what? Soft ass.
What did it say, Zach?
A hard head make a soft ass.
Say, man.
Make you fall on that soft ass that you have.
Say, y'all better listen, man. Y'all better listen, for real.
Was this a real life, like real deal wake up call for you?
Man,
and I mean from...
Say, I tell you this. Man, more so the wake up call, the wake up call for me wasn't more so, hey man, you just almost died on this drug, man, you need to chill out. My wake up call came from my family. That was my wake up call. You know what I'm saying? Cause you know what I'm saying? My wake up call was my family. Just seeing them there, you know what I'm saying, supporting me and being there for me. And seeing people I ain't seen in a while and just knowing that they actually cared. You know what I'm saying? That was more of a wake up call than anything for me. You know what I'm saying? Cause I was at the point to where I really didn't care if I was here or not.
I just want you to know that we don't ever want you to feel how you felt and go and do what you do to make yourself feel better. If you want help, you can get help. I know resources for you to get help. If you're feeling down, like with your mental, depressed, anxious, anything like that, you can get help. I had to put myself through help too. I needed help. Wouldn't nobody know that I was drowning until I drowned. Until I took my own life. Until I was gone. And I don't want nobody else to feel how I felt. So I definitely don't want you, TJ, Jeremiah, anybody around me feeling like that. And I want you to know too, like, that, like you said earlier, with that drug, that high gets you high and you feel unstoppable. You feel great. But as soon as you come down, it's no benefits from that drug. None whatsoever. And it will never be any benefits from that drug. And that's the reality that you have to accept.
Let me say this though. You know what I'm saying? It's different kind of addicts. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
It's different kind of addicts, and the addict is an addict. And I'm not taking nothing from what it is. But I'm going to say this, you know what I'm saying? It's certain people that, you know what I'm saying, you got your people that just, you know what I'm saying, just like to get high. Just, you know what I'm saying, they going to wake up and go to sleep getting high because that's what they like to do. But it's people out here that, you know, that really, you know what I'm saying, they have something on their soul that's deeper than getting high. They have something on their heart and their mind and their soul that's deeper than getting high. They get high just to really get away for a minute. You know what I'm saying? But once they get back in reality, and if they can get their life together, and if they can fix that feeling that they're feeling, getting high ain't nothing.
It's not gonna be there anymore.
It's not nothing that they'll even want to do because.
So, are you speaking on yourself in this
I'm
moment?
speaking on myself. Like, getting high is not something like, I gotta go get high. No. Ain't never, since I started, been like that. It's always been, honest to God truth, it's always been where just my feelings and the way I'm feeling at the time. I don't want to feel like this, so I'm finna get high, so I ain't gotta feel this real. You know what I'm saying? I've been feeling this for too long. It's been too long. I need to feel something else real quick. You know what I'm saying? So it's different types of addicts. You know, but regardless, you should never go to drugs. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not the answer. That's not the answer. It's more people out there that's trying to get high because of the way their life going. Because they can't cope with what's going on with their life. They can't cope with how they feel in life. They can't cope with what's happening. They feel like their life was supposed to be somewhere else right now. They feel like they were supposed to be somewhere else right now. So they going to get high just because they can't deal with it. Not because they gotta get high, or they need the high, or they fiending for the high. No, they just tired of feeling that. They just trying to feel that feeling. It's people out there that's doing it just because they want something different. They tired of going through the same thing over and over. And they tired of people messing over them. They tired of people hurting them. They tired of people, you know what I'm saying? They tired of feeling like they ain't shit. Not because they gotta have it, but because they just don't want to feel the way they feel. That's it. That's it. So people that do drugs, somebody might look at somebody that do drugs, he's the dope fiend. No, it's people out here that just can't cope with their lifestyle. Can't cope with the way they live in life and what's going on in their life. They can't cope with it. So they looking for something to make them feel of a better person. Feel like a better person.
Since the overdose, how have you been coping with the news that you died and had to be brought back to life?
I haven't coped with none of that. I ain't coped with nothing. It ain't hit me that I died. I ain't realized it yet.
Do you think that you may need therapy to actually get those feelings out?
I might not need. I just need something, better. I have to. As a man, I have to make my life better. I have to put my foot down and do something about it because you know what I'm saying. It's people out there going through worse stuff than me, so I'm not gonna sit here and boo-hoo and cry about what I'm going through because, like I say, it's people out there really going through it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I want to do this because, it's always somebody that's going through something worse. So whatever you want in life, man, just go do it. Just do everything you can and make it happen. You know what I'm saying? And even when you feel like drugs is the only thing you can really go to, man, just start trying to program your mind or get around people that can make you feel different, make that feeling different. You know what I'm saying? When you feel like drugs is the only thing that can change that feeling, it's other things that might can change that feeling. Maybe it's the people you around, maybe it's maybe it's the things you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You have to give it a try. You have to care enough about yourself.
Yeah. Because the battle is not with nobody else, it's with yourself. Okay. So, what is some advice that you would like to tell everyone that may be dealing with addiction?
Man, I can tell y'all because my mind state was always somebody gonna overdose, man. Overdose, you know what I'm saying? Somebody shooting a needle up their arm. Or doing some heroin or doing something just, you know what I'm saying, doing some crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? The drugs I was doing, I never thought I could overdose and best believe, you know what I'm saying? It's how the world is now, man. Like fentanyl got me. They cutting things with everything, man. You never know what you ingest in your body. And you know what I'm saying, before it's too late, and you won't believe it. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe the ambulance people that I wasn't right, and I was dying. I didn't believe my baby mama when she was telling me, man, something ain't right, you need to go to the hospital. I didn't believe my homegirl when she was telling me, man, nigga, you dying, you need to go. I didn't believe nobody. Man, I was going off the way I felt at the time, and shit, I felt good. I felt like I was good, and just know, you know what I'm saying, when you feeling that feeling, you know what I'm saying, sometimes it ain't good. And you might come upon a time in your life where you come across something that ain't good. And you know what I'm saying, it might be the worst decision you make. It might be the worst decision you ever made.
Okay. So, before we go, I kind of just want to pay my respects to the people that have lost loved ones, daughters, sons, cousins, siblings, wife, husband to fentanyl. This is like very high rising, you guys. I want to bring awareness to this topic and to this situation because it hit home this time. It was too close to my home. Almost took somebody that we love dearly. But yeah, you guys, we just want to spread awareness on fentanyl overdose because a lot of people don't be blessed to sit here and tell their story of them overdosing on this drug. This drug is deadly, you guys. It's deadly to kids, to anybody. And especially for kids, just by touching it or smelling it, it can instantly kill them. They don't even have to intake that drug. And adults, it's fatal. It can instantly just drop you like a fly. And we just want to spread some light on this situation because it's happening nationwide, and I want everybody to know that this is very serious. This is not something to be playing with or to joke around about because it's taking lives left and right. So I wanted to do this video with people that actually have experienced this in their own lives, and then they have their own stories of how it made them feel and react to it. And we just wanted to bring awareness to this situation, like I said. So thank y'all for coming and doing this video because y'all didn't have to. I appreciate y'all being vulnerable and being open about the situation because y'all stories can relate to so many different people. And I just want to say that I really do, even though Jazz, I don't know you from a can of paint, I really do care about y'all, and I want to see y'all do better. And I want better for y'all, and I know y'all want better for y'allself because y'all have a lot to live for.
Most definitely.
A lot. And y'all are worth a lot. So I want y'all to start treating yourself like that more and taking more accountability for what y'all need to do better in y'all life. So
It's not funny, like, it's very traumatic. Like, I laugh because I don't want to cry. Like,
that's him too. That's how he copes with things.
I asked for, like, the video, and they said, like, Jazz, like, I couldn't even, like, I couldn't record you like that. It's funny because, like, I see myself, like, laid out, like, over fentanyl. Like, it's not funny, but it's funny because I don't want to cry. And it was very traumatic.
It is.
I want to be, my best friend want to be here today. We would not be here today over that one line, that one bump. Over $10. That cost him a whole, you know, after 10 minutes, you're already in a coma.
Mm-hmm.
After no circulation to your brain, no blood flow, none of that. It's already dead, like, it's already over with. And I'm thankful to be here. My best friend, like, tubes, pipes, wires everywhere. He had ventilation down his throat, trying to breathe.
Wasn't breathing.
Trying to breathe, that ventilation pipe had you breathing. He couldn't breathe without that ventilation pipe. And, like, it's very scary, like, but if you do a drug, don't let that drug do you. You do that drug. Don't let the drug take over you. Like, I laugh because, like, damn, I've been crying for so long. That high is not worth more than your life is saying. Like, it took everything from me. Like, it did. Like, it did. It took a lot.
I'm glad that y'all came and spoke out about it, and I'm so sorry that that happened to y'all, but we just wanted to talk a little bit about it and tell their sides and their stories, you guys. So send them some love in the comments, y'all. I'll probably put their socials in the description if they want me to.
Jasmine Shantae, Facebook, Faye Baby, always _Lord_13, Instagram, Snapchat. That's where you can find me at, Faye Baby.
And
Jasmine Shantae.
Jeremy, do you want to shout yours out?
Oh yeah, man. JJ by Bread, man. Y'all look me up on Facebook.
What about your TikTok?
TikTok, JJ by Bread.
I don't got no TikTok. I just got Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. That's it. Always _ALWAYZ_LOWYL_13. February PHAEBABEYY.
JJ by Bread, man. Say, man. I just want to say, man, it's a better life out here.
None drugs.
Don't give up. Don't give up, man. When you feel like the world on your shoulders, man, just don't give up, man. Just pray, man. Look at your higher power, man. It's gonna get better.
Most definitely.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
And I pray that all is well and God will show y'all the love that y'all need and looking for. And I'll continue to pray for y'all on a day-to-day basis. I love y'all. Y'all stay up. Y'all stay blessed. Stay out the streets.
Yes, most definitely.
And we'll see y'all for an update. If y'all want to do a part 2 for an update on how life has been treating y'all.
Most definitely. Yes,
Yes, sir.
Peace out.
Yes, man.